Good evening. My name is Dennis Ryan. As the treasurer of Menard Electric Cooperative, I would like to highlight the 2023 financial status of the co-op. I will be referencing the financial statements handout you were provided as you entered this evening. On the left side is the balance sheet. The co-op's total assets are shown on line 6 as almost $87 million, up 8.3% over 22. As you can see, most of our assets are invested in our physical plant shown on line 1. The total depreciated value of our property, plant, and equipment is over $64 million and represents the value of our poles, conductors, and facilities, as well as the headquarters building and fleet operated by the cooperative's employees to deliver electricity to you. The balance sheet also shows members' equity and liabilities. I want to draw your attention to line 7, indicating total members' equity at year-end was not quite $35 million. This amount represents the members' ownership in the cooperative and indicates you own 40% of the co-op's total assets. These funds provide capital to help build new plant and improve system performance, with the understanding that any excess funds will be returned to the membership at a later date. Also important is having a good long-term financial plan which balances equity and debt. The levels of these capital sources are closely monitored by management and the board. Note on line 8, the co-op's long-term debt at the end of last year totaled almost $42.5 million. We are fortunate to have access to capital borrowing at interest rates tied to Treasury from the Federal Rural Utilities Service. While rates have been on the rise, our blended interest rate at the end of 2023 was favorable at 3.3% on these long-term notes. On the opposite side of the page, you will find the 2023 income statement. Menard Electric ended last year with total revenues of $33.9 million and total fixed and operating expenses of $32.7 million for a total operating margin of almost $1.3 million. Clearly, our wholesale cost of power on line 2 is the largest expense at $21.3 million. In 2023, we experienced a 14.4% increase year over year in power costs. It's important to note the co-op has limited control over this cost. For every dollar we collected last year, almost 64 cents went towards power costs. The graph shown here provides a recent perspective of the dynamics we experience in power expense. As you can see, the impact in 2023 was significant by comparison. Our 2024 budget predicts a conservative recovery. However, challenges in the wholesale energy markets continue as our electric generation supply sources are challenged by special interest groups. Looking further down the income statement, line 8 depicts the operating margins I mentioned of almost $1.3 million. As a reminder, our not-for-profit cooperative business model requires any revenues in excess of our expenses be aggregated with non-operating margins to reflect total margins. Line 10 demonstrates those total margins were just under $2.6 million. All of these dollars have been allocated as capital credits to each individual co-op member based on their 2023 patronage. Menard Electric remains diligent in returning capital credits to you, the member owners. Just recently, over $922,000 was returned to members who took service from the co-op during calendar years 2002 and 2003. This graph illustrates how your cooperative compares to other Illinois electric cooperatives. As you can see, Menard has refunded 53% of all capital credits allocated throughout the years, higher than the average for other Illinois electric cooperatives. I hope this report has given you a better perspective of the co-op's financial health. We continue to reinvest in our physical utility plant. We continue to ensure adequate margins and return capital credits on an annual basis. We continue to maintain a reasonable amount of debt, and we strive to be good stewards of the cooperative's resources. If you have further questions, I encourage you to contact the office to learn more. Thank you for your attention. This concludes my treasurer's report.